You walk over to your tail or your hat or whatever you've got, you'll pick it up and bingo, there he is. Somebody mates calls out to you and you turn around, you might tread on him, you might even pick him up in your hat, put him on your head and he'll drop it over your shoulders and start to bite you on the face or on the ears. So you've got to use your wits about you. I've even heard of people picking them up wrapped up in their towel and start towelling themselves down with the snake wrapped up inside their towel. So they do these little things as well. Now you can see there we've also got a light coloured brown snake and we've got a dark coloured brown snake. These blokes are both brothers out of the same mother and father. They can also be as blue as this wall just here. They can be as green as this wall behind me. They can be as red as this little box in front of me here. They can be a bright yellow. They can be a dull yellow. They can be white. They can be a combination of all those colours on the one snake. They can be jet black like a red-bellied black snake, and they can be striped like a tiger snake. So you can't just look at a snake on the ground and say brown in colour brown snake, black in colour black snake. Doesn't work like that at all. The only way you can identify a snake correctly is to pick the animal up. And you have to actually count one of these rows of scales that goes diagonally across his middle body there, and then you have to count every scale on his belly from just under his chin right down to where his tail starts, where my fingers are. That's the only way you can make a positive identification of any snake species. We have about 200 species of snakes in Australia. Every average person knows about half a dozen, and they try to identify them on colour or pattern alone. You can't do that, and as good meaning as the farmer is down the road or the bloke up the street in the pet shop, as I said before, they know absolutely nothing about these animals, and if you really want to know about them, don't waste your time talking to any layperson because they're only going to tell you stories about snakes. Get on the telephone. You can ring up any university, any museum, zoo or reptile park in the country. They all have biologists who specialise in reptiles, and they'll tell you the facts about the animals. They won't be dazzled with stories and lies and myths about them. Now, just before we finish up, I'll quickly show you how we treat snake bite. We don't use tourniquets anymore. We use one of these little plate bandages. They'll save your life if you're bitten by a snake, and it's a very excellent first aid method. Now, if you do get bitten by a snake, you assume it's a venomous snake, wrap the victim up and get them to the hospital and let the doctor determine if it's a venomous snake bite. You do not have to catch or kill the snake that has bitten you to get the correct anti-venom. When Australian snakes bite, our venomous snakes always spill venom out the side of their fangs, on the skin or on the clothing. Always. They never miss it. And when you get to the hospital, the doctor can swab that area. He'll pick up a little bit of that venom that's left there. He'll put it in a venom detection kit, and within 2 or 3 minutes he'll come back, he'll tell you what you've been bitten by, and he'll give you the correct anti-venom for that snake. Now, once you put this bandage on, it stays on. It does not come off for any reason whatsoever until you are in the hospital and you've got a doctor on one side and he's got a life support machine set up and ready to go on the other side, and the doctor will take the bandage off at his leisure. When you do put this bandage on, you are going to have a minimum of 7 hours before you're going to have a major effect from that snake bite. You'll get a rotten headache, you'll get violently ill, you'll get a bad dose of diarrhoea, but you will not die or have a major reaction for at least 7 hours once you put this on, possibly as long as 20 hours. And that's plenty of time to get yourself to a doctor and get treated accordingly. So if I was bitten on the back of the hand here, I'm not going to wash it, I'm not going to wipe it. The doctor wants that venom to identify the species of snake. I would take any jewellery off that. My hand's going to swell to about 5 times its normal size, as well as the discomfort. I run the risk of getting gangrene or having the jewellery cut off in the hospital and losing it. So you take the jewellery off. You take your bandage and you go straight over the top of the snake bite. You wrap this up 3 or 4 times and you use the same amount of pressure as you would for a sprained wrist or a sprained ankle. You don't have to stop the flow of blood, it just has to be nice and firm. Once you go over the bite 3 or 4 times, go down, wrap up your fingers or toes as the case may be, come back over the snake bite, maintain that pressure, wrap beyond the bite and take the wrap all the way up your arm, right up as far as your shoulder. If you're bitten on the leg or the foot, take the wrap right up as far as your hip. Now, it is important to immobilise the wound. If you've got a sling with you, all the better. If you haven't, you might have enough bandage left to make yourself a little sling out of it. Either way, you can stick your hand down the front of your pants, you can stick it in the front of your shirt, or you can just cradle it next to your body. But you don't let it just hang down by your side. If you're bitten on the leg or the foot, after you've bandaged it, if possible, splint your leg so you can't bend your knee. Whether you splint it or not, you pick up another stick and use that for a walking stick. Get up and slowly make your way back to the house or the car. Don't run, don't rush. Your heart is going to be pounding out of the chest through the fear of being bitten by the snake, and you may even have a little panic attack. If that happens, you've got to sit down, take a few nice deep breaths and just compose yourself Once you've done that, you get up and you continue back to the house or the car. Okay, that brings us to an end of the show. Thanks very much for your time. Hope you had fun at the same time. Hope you learned a bit at the same time as well. If anybody's interested, I've got a couple of snake bite kits left there. They're $10, and it's worth just to save your life if you're interested and have $10 each. Thank you.